Okay, welcome along. And this is the last one we're going to do about allocative efficiency. So today, what our key idea is going to be is just looking at some of the concepts that we can show with a production possibility. So I suppose the question is, what can we show with a PPF? Because remember, the whole point of graphs in economics is to illustrate ideas. In themselves, they don't really have any merit. It's the concepts that we can show with them. So what I want to start off is I want to just draw a PPF, and let's see how straight I've got this line. There we go. It's not too bad, is it? There we go, up there. Okay, and then we're going to come down here, and we're going to draw another line across here. So we've got our PPF, and that's actually looking pretty good. Okay, almost. So our standard PPF starts out here and it comes down. And remember, it's concave to the origin, so the cave is facing the origin over here because of the law of diminishing returns. So as we shift resources from the production of one good, call it good A, we get a huge increase in B, but we lose some A. Another huge increase, lost a little bit of A. Another huge increase, a little bit. But as we go along, the increases in B start to get smaller and smaller, and the cost that occurs in terms of what we lose up in A gets bigger, hence the law of diminishing returns. Or as we'll have a look at it later in this third in economics, the law of increasing costs. So today I just want to pick up on some key ideas, and one I've already just mentioned there is the idea of opportunity cost. How does a PPF show opportunity cost? And it's really quite a simple idea. Remember, opportunity cost is the next best alternative given up. So the next best alternative given up. So if I choose to go to the beach, then the next best alternative is the thing that I would have done with my time had I not gone to the beach. In this case, if I'm choosing to stop producing A and start producing B, the opportunity cost of producing B is A. So let's just choose 2 points, and I'm going to really make up some numbers here. So this is point X, and we'll just draw a dotted line across here, and let's say that's 20. And we'll draw a dotted line down here. Now it's not a very straight line. You of course will draw much better lines than that, and we'll go 5, and we'll draw another point over here, call that Y, and we're going to draw a dotted line across here and down, and we'll put there 9. Now, opportunity cost. The way we would illustrate opportunity cost here, let's put again here 14 there. So let's say this country chooses to go from point X to point Y. So they've increased output in B by 4. So that's great, they've gone up by 4, but what have they given up? To get to that, what have they given up? And what they've given up is this output is A, so they've given up 6A, 20 minus 14 equals 6. So in this case, to go from X to Y, the opportunity cost equals 6 A's, whatever A's might have been, cows, cars, or whatever, consumer goods or whatever. Okay, that's opportunity cost. The second idea is showing unemployment of resources. Now you remember that the production possibility frontier shows us all possible output combinations when all resources are used. But what happens if we don't use all our possible output combinations? So for instance, let's say we choose to produce at this point. Goodness knows why we do that. And that point, we'll call that point Z. We're now producing 14 of good A and only 5 of good B. And clearly we're not using all our resources. There's a big gap here from this point to that. So that's how we would illustrate the idea of unemployment, or sometimes we refer to this as underemployment, of resources. Now, you might be thinking, why on earth would we do that? But if you think about our economy, imagine this is our economy, and we'll change B to capital goods, which is, remember, something we do quite a lot, and rather than A, we'll call this consumer. And you think about it, you think about actual unemployment of labour. We don't have full employment, we don't have 100% of people employed. So our economy is always working under the PPF. Now probably it's closer to the PPF than that, But most economies will always be working underneath the actual possible production frontier. Okay, now one last concept that I just want to show you, and that is the idea of economic growth. So how can we use a PPF to show economic growth? In fact, I'm actually going to go to a new graph now, and let's start again. So the idea of economic growth, and I suppose there's a variety of ways we can do this. Now, if we start here, and again, let's call this capital goods, and put it here, consumer goods. And if you think, oh, what's happened here? Okay, a country might be, imagine two countries. Let's put it NZ, and let's put Australia here. Now, over time, as they learn to make more productive use of their resources, they're going to be able to produce, from their available resources, they're going to be able to make more goods. So we show economic growth as a movement of the entire PPF. All right? So not a movement along the curve, because that's no more. That's just where society wants to be. But an actual outward movement shows the idea of economic growth. Now, if you think about these two countries, the country that's invested more in capital goods rather than consumer goods is actually going to get the higher growth. So this one out here would be Australia, because it invested more in capital goods, so it would go out further, whereas New Zealand would only go out here because we've invested in consumer goods. And because consumer goods don't actually help us to make other goods, they're not so good in the long run. They're lots of fun to enjoy, things like plasma TVs, LED screens, computers, and so on. But if we were to spend more of our money, save more of our money on factories and stuff like that, that would actually be better for our country in the long run, and we'd get more economic growth. Okay, so that's how we show economic growth. That's the last idea, showing economic growth on a PPF. Okay, and that's all the key ideas. Now there's a few other extras that you need to learn, but we're not going to do those in these videos. Check in your textbook, and that's where you can get the information. Okay.